Hello everyone, in this video we are going to see partial safety factor. So let's start with the video. What is partial safety factor? See, it says or it is defined as, it is also known as safety factor, partial safety factor or just the safety factor. So it is defined as factor used in the design of structure so that the value of stresses coming on the structure due to the applied load does not exceed the design strength of the materials used in the structure. This definition is very important. See, let us assume that this is the beam and it is a simply supported beam, okay, and it is carrying certain point load 50, 60, whatever you want. Imagine that, okay, or assume that, okay. So this beam, this RCC beam, let us assume that this is the RCC beam or the steel beam, whatever you want. So the factor of safety is defined as that factor which is used in the design of structure so that value of the stresses coming on the structure due to the applied load. Let us assume that the stress in this beam, stress in beam due to load, this UDL, it is assumed, let us assume we have calculated the stress in beam due to the load and it is coming as 20 Newton per mm square, okay. This is the stress in the beam due to the external loading. Now this is considered from the load criteria. And what about the material? As I told you, it possibility is that it may be of steel, this material may be steel, this material may be concrete. Clear? It may be of steel, it may be of concrete. Let us assume that if it is constructed with steel, its strength will go up to 25 Newton per mm square, okay. And if it is constructed with concrete, then its strength will go around 80 Newton per mm square, okay. Just assume that. So what does that mean? Due to the external load, the stress coming in the beam due to that load is 20 Newton per mm square. So what does that mean? My beam should be capable of resisting this 20 Newton per mm square load or stress. This is the stress, okay. This 20 Newton per mm square stress is coming in this beam. So it should be resisted. But if I construct this beam with the concrete, it will not resist because its capacity is only 18, its strength is only 18, and we have to resist how much? 20 Newton per mm square. So you cannot construct this beam with the concrete. But what if you constructed this with the steel? If you construct it with the steel, its capacity or its strength is 25 Newton per mm square. So what does that mean? It means it is capable of resisting this 20 Newton per mm square. It is greater than that, okay. So but still, if you want to design it for the concrete, what we will do, we will divide it with certain factor. What we will do, we will divide it with certain factor. For example, if it is 20, we will divide it by 2. Just for example, this value is not fixed. I'm just giving the example. This 20 value will be divided by 2, this factor. Now the stress will come as low as 20 Newton per mm square. Clear? Now we will assume that 20 Newton per mm square, for 20 Newton per mm square, there should be capacity of 20 Newton per mm square. Or you can do one thing. What you will do, you will not take it as 20 due to the external load. We will multiply it by, for example, for 20 Newton per mm square, we will multiply it by 1.5. Now it will come as 30 Newton per mm square. So what we will do, for 30 Newton per mm square, we will design it. And concrete is giving only 18 Newton per mm square. So you can increase the cross section. What we will do, you will increase the cross section and you will allow that particular concrete to resist this much load. Even if the load is only 20 or stress is only 20, but we will design it for 30 by increasing the cross sections. So in this way you can use the partial safety factors, okay. I'll explain you in the simple way. See, partial safety factors has two types, or it has two basic subdivisions, for loading and for material. I'll explain you both. For example, if there is a load, there is a dead load in the structure and it is 50, so we will not consider it as 50, we will multiply it with certain factor. What we will do, we will multiply it with certain factor and we will increase that load. What we will do, we will increase that load so that we will design it for the more load and it will be more safe. Clear na? If dead load is 50, we will not design it for 50, we will increase it by multiplying it with certain factor. For example, the load is 50, what we will do, let us assume that we will multiply it by 1.5. Now what happens, it will become 75. Even the load is coming as 50, but we will design it for 75 kilonewton of load. And same for material. For example, for material we will reduce it, okay, we will divide it. How? Let us assume that a particular material, if it is steel, we will take two examples, steel and concrete. Okay, for example, the steel has a strength of 100 newton per mm square and concrete has strength of 70 newton per mm square. But we will not assume this much strength, we will divide it with certain factor. Okay, what we will do, we will divide it with certain factor and we will reduce it. For example, if we are dividing it by say 1.5 by 2, for example by 2, if you are dividing it by 2, so it will come as 50. So for 50 we will assume the strength only 50, not the 100. Even if you increase stress to 60, it will be safe. Why? Because the actual strength is 100 and we are considering only 50. We are designing the structure for the 50, but even if this load is increased, it will be capable of resisting that. Okay, so in case of, I'll tell you the shortcut. For in case of material strength, you have to decrease the values, and in case of load we have to increase the values. Now there are certain combinations which are given. We have to use one IS code, IS 1893/2002. From this IS code you have to refer the various combinations of loads. Load combinations are given. If you are subjected to dead load and live load, so what is the combined effect of that? So if you are in ultimate limit state of method, if you are using ultimate limit state, that is limit state of collapse or the limit state of flexure or the limit state of collapse or strength, we will use this combination. Means, for example, dead load is 50 and live load is 30, so total is 80 na? So for serviceability criteria we will use 80 only, but in case of ultimate limit state, that is for strength criteria, we will multiply it by 1.5. Like this we have to design. In serviceability criteria, which points are covered? Vibration, this I have told you, vibration. And next one is which one? We have deflection is also there. And last one is what? We have vibration, we have deflection, when we have cracking. So for cracking, deflection and vibration we will use, for example, if this is the example, only 80 load we will take, and for the shear force, bending moment, torsion, we will use this combination. Okay. Similarly, for the seismic load, wind load, they have given the various combinations, and from which IS code we have got that? We have got that from IS 1893/2002. So there are various combinations that can be used. Okay, these are for load. Now I'll talk about material. For material, which combinations are used or what factor of safety you have to use. So for concrete, if you are designing it for the collapse, you have to multiply your particular load by the 1.5. But if it is material strength, you cannot multiply it, you have to divide it. Now what does that mean? For example, if I am using a concrete, okay, and the concrete is having grade of M20, what does that mean? Its FCK value is 20 Newton per mm square. Okay, now this 20 Newton per mm square strength of concrete is there, and you have to design it for the collapse. What you have to do? You have to design your structure for the collapse. So what I will do? are divided by the 1.5. So how much it will be? 20 divided by 1.5. Okay, whatever it comes. So that is your strength. Even if its strength is 20 Newton per mm square, we are dividing it by 1.5 and we are taking the less strength. Why? Because for safety criteria. So this factor by which you are dividing it, for example, it is denoted by gamma m, partial safety factor for material. M stands for material. So in this way you have to divide this. For example, if you are dividing it designing it for the deflection, then no need to change, just divide it by 1, the value will be same. For cracking you have to divide it by 1.3. And but if your structure is steel structure, then you have to divide it by 1.15. If you are designing the structure for the collapse, if you are designing the structure for the deflection, you have to divide it by 1. And if you are designing the structure for the cracking, then you have to divide it by 1. If you are still not getting it, I'll explain this thing. For example, there is a steel structure, okay? There is a steel structure. Now listen carefully. If there is a steel structure and you are designing the structure for the strength criteria, strength is also known as collapse, okay? In limit state method of collapse, okay? So if you are designing it for limit state of collapse or limit state of strength, and its strength is for that particular strength, but that particular steel structure has a strength of 500. So what you will do? You will divide it by 1.5. Sorry, not 1.5, 1.15. You will divide it by 1.15 because you are designing it for the collapse. But if you have to design the same steel structure for the deflection, you have to check the deflection criteria. So that 500 you will divide it by 1 only, means you will take the same load, sorry, same strength of the material, okay? You will not decrease it. In this case the value will be decreased now. If you are dividing it by 1.5, obviously value will be less than 500, but in case of deflection you have to use the same value of strength. So in this way you have to design the structure. So this was the video on partial safety factor. Thank you.